Leading from the heart. We're going to talk about that. It's hard to find employers who care more about their workers than the bottom line, but we're learning about a new business approach that takes heart science into account. The high-level executive who's advocating this new method, coming up.
Leading from the heart. It's not just the name of a new book. It is a way to create more job satisfaction in the workplace and even to make your company more profitable. Author Mark Crowley tells us how it works and how you can use it at the office today. So glad to have you on, and a La Jolla native.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty much. What inspired you to write this book?
My original intention in writing the book was to share 4 or 5 leadership practices that I knew were extremely uncommon from my 25 years in leadership in corporate America. And as I started to write the book, I started to think about what was it that really influenced people to perform at such exceptional levels tied to these behaviors. And it all came down to the heart. And that might sound like a good thing, but it actually stopped me in my tracks. I thought, this is not a good thing, because business frowns on heart. We think it's soft and sentimental. We think it undermines profitability. We think it undermines our ability to control our employees. And so I thought, my book is dead on arrival. I seriously had that thought go through my mind. And I had this fantasy. I wonder if there might be information out there that could validate what I knew to be true through my own experience. And what I found is extraordinary. I found a ton of information from business, from science, from medicine that not only validates that we need a fundamentally new model of leadership in this country, but the idea of heart being something that's soft and sentimental has been proved unequivocally wrong. The heart has been proved now by scientists in America to have its own intelligence, its own little brain, and what people feel and affects their hearts. And that feeling drives human performance.
You mentioned an incredible study that was done with Fortune 500 companies, where one company, SAS in North Carolina, showed profitability above the charts, and you wouldn't think so by the model of how their company is set up.
Well, first of all, Fortune magazine analyzes the 100 best companies to work for across the United States on an annual basis. And there's a Professor Alex Edmonds at University of Wharton, one of the greatest business schools in the country, did an analysis to say, if we're really treating these people well, is that going to have an effect on profitability? And I think he went in with an orientation thinking that the more you do for people, the less profitable they're going to be. And what he was able to show was just the opposite. Over about a 15-year period since 1984, in the first 15 years since Fortune magazine actually published that list, they were able to show that companies that had been in this 100 best companies to work for were outperforming their peers, i.e. companies that weren't so great to work for on a stock market return of a 4% annual basis. Now, we herald hedge fund managers for getting 2% above the market. If you can invest in a company that treats their employees in a wonderful way, you're going to get incremental profitability that's going to translate not only in terms of the business success, but shareholder success. This is profound.
Where people go to work, you say 55% people wake up in the morning and go, oh, another day. What you're saying and what your scientific research has shown is that if you lead from the heart, whether you're at the top of the bucket list management-wise or an entry-level position, that you're going to create the kind of atmosphere that gravitates people towards you and that ultimately makes the company successful.
Exactly. There's an organization, they're over a 100-year-old research firm based in New York called the Conference Board, and since 1987 they've been studying worker satisfaction. Not only have they shown that it's declined every year, but it's at an all-time low. So we literally have 55% of all Americans hating going to work every day. And that is just an astonishing number, and it hasn't improved in good economies, and it hasn't gotten any better in worse economies. So the economy we're in right now has nothing to do with it. It's a fundamental leadership problem. And what the Conference Board additionally done, and they don't just study American companies, they study companies across the world. They were able to show that 5 leadership behaviors, all related to the heart, are not just things that are important to the success of people and organizations in America, they're universal.
Yeah, I wish
It
we had
all
time
comes
to
down to
share
the
those.
heart.
We're out of time.
It's okay.
But I know that they can go to your website and get those 5 universal
Please do.
tips. And we're also going to be giving away some copies of your book, Lead from the Heart, today. So please go to our website, and hopefully you can get one and improve your attitude about work today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
and,
very much. My pleasure.
Look forward to reading your book.
Thank you.
Good to have you on.